Hello 108 students, Mr. McHugh back here with you on section 3.5, and we are continuing with page 3, and we are going to find the domain and range by looking at graphs. So if you're a strong visual learner, you'll like these because I think our brain can grasp concepts and relationships visually when you see them visually than sometimes on text. But anyway, so what we're doing here is we're going to look at a graph, and I got some hints here for you. When you find the domain, you are looking at the x-axis and you're going to go from left to right. What's the range? What's the smallest value and what's the largest value on the x-axis? That's your domain, and you're going to use that interval notation to list that. Think of the length. Now for the range, look at the y-axis and you're going to go from bottom up to top, and you're going to find the smallest and the largest, and again you're going to use that interval notation. Think of the width of the graph. Okay, so let's go ahead and start a couple of these here. Example B's got like an egg shaped here, and so they ask you to list the domain. List the domain from smallest to largest. Find the x-axis, which is horizontal. Okay, so start from the left side, work your way across. Where do you first hit the graph? When we say graph, we're talking about the shape that they're drawn here. There it is. It's at -4. Okay, now that graph, as you go down, let's pick -2 as an example. Does -2 have a corresponding dot on the y? Yes, and look at that. It has what? 2 of them. Okay, now class, here's a $100,000 question. Is this a function? Yes or no? How many said no? Okay, you're correct if you said no, because look at this. This would be what? -2 comma 6, and this one is what? Oh, that's a +6, and this would be what? -2 comma -6. Okay, notice that the ordered pairs, the dots stacked up on top of each other. Okay, we're going to use that here on the next page. Imagine if you had a vertical line coming through, and if it touched, where did it touch on that graph? 2 places. There, by definition, it fails as a function. Okay, that's just a little side note. Now, we're moving across. How far do we go on the domain before we stop? Right here at a +4, because once you go to 5, it does not have the graph with it. Okay, so the domains, what's that? The domain would be from -4 to 4, and you include them with the brackets because they're on there. These are closed dots. Okay, how about the range? Guess what? Start at the bottom of the y-axis, start working your way up. Where's the first place you hit it? -6, and you keep going, keep going, keep going. The graph is going around, the circle, the graph's going around, and here at 5, look how you have two dots there. Okay, now that does not have any bearing with horizontal lines here, but we'll do that somewhere else down this in the semester. But once you come up here to 6, that's the height of it. If you go to 7, the graph is not on it. So the range would be from -6 all the way up to +6, and you include those. Okay, so we're doing pretty good here. Example C is talking about a line, and I told you a line by definition was a function. Now when we draw a line here, remember those arrows tell you that this line goes on forever and ever and ever, except I can't go past the white here on my drawing. It goes on forever and ever. Try the same idea. Start from the left, look at the domain. What's the smallest value for the domain? Well, if I could keep going out here for an ever and ever, could I drop down? Answer would be yes, and hit the x-axis. So you're going to from -infinity, and you're cruising along, cruising along, cruising along, and no matter where you go, and here's an example, you're cruising along, you hit this dot, can you come up and hit the y-axis? Yes. What if I came over here and hit this dot? Can I come up and hit the x-axis? The answer is yes. So the range, the domain, is from -infinity to +infinity. Now you don't have to put the plus on there, I'm just emphasizing it, because if I would go all the way down here, I still would come up there and hit the axis. Okay, range, again, it's the vertical. It starts on the bottom of the y-axis. Now if you're down here, can you come across and hit the y-axis? Yes. So you're coming up here. How about up here? If I was all the way up here, could I come back and hit the y-axis? on the line with an ordered pair, x comma y, yes. So the range is again the same, negative infinity to infinity. Okay, you can use that as a fact for all lines except for vertical and horizontal as far as the domain and ranges, but if it's a regular line, that's what you would have. Okay, now sometimes they'll go turn around there and they'll take an example. I put them out of order here, it looks like, but let's look at example A. Talks about just listing ordered pairs. Okay, now you look at them. I'll highlight them. Here they are. You can see the ordered pair numbers that go with them, and they ask you to list the domain. Okay, start from the x. Here's the first point. What's its value? X coordinate, -1. You list it. You keep going along. You hit the next point, which is +1. Okay, oops, I missed one. Excuse me. I missed that guy down there. Sorry, second one's down here. 0 is the x coordinate. The third guy, his x coordinate is 1. The fourth guy, x coordinate is 4. Remember, the domain is the x coordinate, so you just list them individually. -1, 0, 1, 4. Smallest to largest. Now, start for the range. Start at the bottom. Start working your way up. What's the first point you're going to hit? Looks like you hit 4, -3. Remember, range, you're talking about the y coordinate, so you list -3. Keep going. You come up to this guy. So here's the y coordinates, -1. And you keep going to the third guy going up. And you hit -1, 1. So there's the y coordinate. Finally, the last one is 1, 2. And you list the y coordinates. Okay, so you could summarize this and say, hey, list all the x coordinates for the domain, list all the y coordinates for the range, and you'd be done. Okay, we're doing good here, class. Hope you're doing good here. This is an important section here to understand our concepts. When I come back, I will help you with page 4. Okay, bye.